Hello and welcome to Adobe Illustrator for graphic designers. In this series of videos, you're going to learn what a dieline, creasing, and bleed is all about. You will learn how to create and add a design to a mockup. Okay, now if this is something you want to learn how to create, let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to learn how to create is our dieline. So to do that, I'm going to create a new document from right here. And then we're going to create a new document. So I'll change this dimension to either centimeter or millimeter. So I'll go with centimeter and just go ahead and create. Okay, so this is what we now have. All right, so let's say the client actually gives us a dimension. So most times it's the client that gives them the dimension. And then sometimes they actually give you the die line itself so that you can create the design. Okay, so let's say the dimension is 40 by 35, and then the depth is 12. Okay, so all of them in centimeter. This is what we got from our client as part of the brief. Okay, so we're going to use this to create the die line, and we'll equally understand what die line is all about in just a moment. Okay, so I'll create a new layer. I'll simply leave this, just this in its own layer. I'll just call this dimension. Okay, I'll close it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'll create this shape. I'll click here, and then I'm going to say the width is 35, and then the height is 40 centimeter. Then click OK. So this is what we have. This comes with a fill and without a stroke. So we only need the stroke. So I'll just revert this. Okay, so we now have the stroke right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll zoom out. I'll increase the size of my artboard like so. Okay, I will still have to increase it. Good. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this and then hold down the shift key, then paste this. So what you'll notice is all this purple guide around whenever I'm moving object. So it's very important. So if you want to set that up for yourself, you can go to Window, go to View, and then come down here to Smart Guide. So make sure the Smart Guide is enabled, very important. So now we want to reduce the size of our width. To do that, I'll go to Transform, and then I'll set the width to 12. Okay, and then the reference points, when you look up here, these are your different reference points. So I'll set it right here because I want it to reduce to this place. So once I press enter, I think that's okay. Let's set it to 12, press enter. Good. Okay, so we can have this tool selected, hold down the Alt key to duplicate, hold down the Shift to keep it in place so that place it correctly. So this is what we want. Okay, so I want to create the back and the front and the side of our box. Okay, so now we can duplicate this, hold down the Alt key to move this up. Okay, so we have to reduce this as well. So I want to reduce it to, let's say 12. Okay, let's see, go to Transform, go to Width, set it to 12. So we want to reduce it to this place. So it means we have to bring the reference point here. So each time you bring the reference point here, what I notice is if you put the value, it changes back to the default. So I will go back again and add, press enter. Nope, we are talking about the height this time around, not the width. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm going to have this selected. So drag this here. Okay, so I'll reduce this. Let's say I'll reduce it to about 3. Go to Transform. So we're talking about the width now. So I'll set this reference point here because we're reducing it to this point. Set this to 3. Press enter. Yes, this is what we want. So I'll select, press A for direct selection tool, then select this anchor point, hold on the shift key, and can click it about 5 times. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 6 times is fine. But then let's select this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then let's do 6, and then here as well 6. Okay. So next, I will duplicate this. So this is going to be our slab. Okay. When the box closes, so I'll reduce this. Let's say about let's try 3. Okay, I'll go to the transform option and then I'll set the height to 3. I'll make sure you select this. I'll go back again, set it to 3. Okay, so I'll press enter. Okay, so if you feel this is too small, you can always go back to transform, but make sure you're selecting the move tool, else you're not going to see the transform option. Okay, so now we can set this to, let's just set it to 4. Okay, good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this anchor point, this point here, and this point. Then can drag like so. Okay, interesting. All right, so I'm going to select this, hold down the Alt key to duplicate that. I'm going to move this up around here, and then I'll reduce this to half of this. So half of this is 6. So it means the height, we'll set it as 6. So you can go to transform. I'm going to reduce the height to 6, but make sure the reference point. So always take note of where the reference point is. So I'll set this as 6. Okay, so that's actually half of this. So what I'm going to do here, I will drag this, even though I'll duplicate it later and bring it back. But for now, I'll drag this, hold on the shift key, I'll position it here. Okay, so you can zoom in. So what I'm going to do here, I'll duplicate this one here. Let's make sure it's square, so something like that. It's fine. Place one here, duplicate another one, this one above it, but I want this to be twice as small as this. So I'll have that selected, go to transform. I'll go to where the height is. So I'm going to divide it by 2, which is going to divide it into half. Okay, so you can see this is now what we have. So I'll press Ctrl R for the ruler. So I'll bring this here. I will drag another ruler bar option, bring this point here. So I can now zoom in. Okay, so I can delete this. So I'll select the add anchor point tool. I'll come here, add an anchor point, come here, add another anchor point. So I'll select this and move it here, like so. Then select this and move it to the second guide. Very important. Okay, so here we're going to add just one anchor point. So you can select either the pen tool or the add anchor point tool. Anyone is fine. So I can click here to add an anchor point. Use A to move it to this point right here. Okay, so that's just basically all I need to do. Okay, so I'll select this. I'll move it twice, 1, 2, and then this I'm going to move it just once is fine. Okay, so for this I'll move it twice first, 1, 2, and then this I'm going to move it once, like that. Okay, so I'm going to have this selected. I'm talking about the guide, so I'll delete it. So now that we've done that, I will have it selected, hold on the Alt key, bring it back, like I said, position it here, right click, and then go to transform, go to reflect, because we want to get it to reflect along the vertical, like so. So I'll click on OK. All right, so now what we're doing is actually taking shape. So the next thing I'm going to do is to duplicate this, hold down the Alt key, then drag this down, place it here. Okay, so I'll reduce this to about 12. So go to transform and then go to the height. I'll set it at 12. We'll make sure we're dealing with the upper reference, which is here. So I'll have to do this again, 12. Okay, good. So for this one, I'm going to create let's say, no, I don't have to click. I'll just simply create a square like so. So anytime you want to create a square like this, hold on the shift key to automatically do that for you. So I don't know the exact size of this, but I think it's about the size I want. So maybe we can increase the size a notch. So I'm going to hold on the Alt key to duplicate this. So use the ruler bar, bring one guide here, bring another guide there. I can select now the anchor point or the pen tool. I'll add an anchor point here, and then nope. Before we do that, make sure you delete these shapes. Very important. Have this selected. Go back, select the add anchor point tool, then come back here, add 2 anchor points, and then select use the direct selection tool to move this here. Then hold this, drag this here. Come over here this time around. I'm using the pen tool to just add it instead of the add anchor point tool. So I will select this and I'll move it here. I'll have this selected and then move it. Okay, so now we can select the tool guide and delete it. So now we can have this point selected. I'll hold on the shift key and press it about 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. Okay, so we are good. So we have this selected, and then drop this here. So this as well, we're going to reduce it by 12. So yes, we wanted to reduce to this point, so the reference point is fine. So I'll set the height to 12. Okay, so for this one, it's very simple. I'll just use the pen tool to just add an anchor point here. Okay, I will have this. I didn't add the anchor point where I wanted to add, so I'll just add it here. Just drag this here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's all we need to do there. So I can come here, then add another one right here. So I'm going to revert that. Go to transform, reflect, yes. So it's on vertical. I'll click on OK, yes. So now we're going to add the shape, make sure it's a square, and make sure the size, let me show you, as you can see, it's around here. And then make sure this midpoint is touching this line here, very important. So now you can select this anchor point, this one here, then reduce, and then get a curve like so. So we can use the move tool now. Let's duplicate this, hold down the Alt key, duplicate that. Okay, so you can just carry this here. Okay, so I'll just zoom in to see what we have, or I can use the arrow key on the keyboard just to get this point here. All right, so we'll right click and then reflect it the other side. Yes, it's exactly where we want it. So I can now have everything selected. Go to Shape Builder tool and then hold on the Alt key. I want to get rid of this point here and then this. Okay, so that's just all I have to do. Select the move tool. So there's something we need to do here, but before then, let's duplicate this. Hold on the Alt key and then the Shift. Bring this down here. All right, so you know what to do. I will reduce that size to 12. That's the height. So now we can have this selected. Maybe we just need to check to confirm everything is all right with this particular shape by going to the outline mode. Okay, so I'm going to press Ctrl Y. We're now in outline mode. So I think all is well. I'll press Ctrl Y to go out of outline mode. So now we can select this, hold down the Alt key, then bring it here. Okay, you didn't select this, so I have to do that. So everything is now selected. Hold down the Alt key, come here. I will revert it this time around. I think it's on the horizontal. Go to reflect, set it to horizontal, so something like that is fine. Okay, so going to zoom in and then use the pen tool. I'll click here, then here, and then here. Okay, so that's all I need to do. So I will duplicate this by holding down the Alt key, then hold down the Shift key just to make sure the movement is exactly how we want it. Then we're going to go to reflect this time around. It's on the vertical, not the horizontal. Okay, so let's see something around here. It's fine. So I'll delete this because I don't need it. Everything is done. Okay, so far so good. We can see what we now have. Our die-line, it's almost complete. Okay, so now we're going to create the creasing, but then you might be wondering what exactly is a die-line. You can refer to a die-line as a template or a blueprint that manufacturers or printers uses to know where exactly to cut, to fold, or to add glue to any material. So it can be a brochure, it can be a label, it can be any printable item. Okay, so a die line is going to guide them knowing where to actually cut, where to add fold, where to add glue. Okay, so a die line is truly a template for manufacturer, something they can actually do without. So it's very good for packaging and for printing. Okay, so now what is creasing, which is something we want to create. So creasing is basically where the material actually fold. So let's assume this is a box. Okay, now where exactly does it fold? That's where creasing comes in. Okay, and then the bleed, it's another item that we're going to look at after creasing. So the bleed actually guide the machine that is actually cutting the box to know exactly where to cut and how to cut that box well. So just imagine you are done with your design, you send it to the printer, and then for some reasons they cut out important text out. I'm not sure you're going to be happy about that. So bleed is very crucial, and just like creasing and the die line is also crucial in packaging design. So how do we create creasing? So that's what I'm going to walk you through now. So you can see that this is our die line. So to create the creasing is very simple. I'm going to select part of this to create the creasing. So remember to select the direct selection tool, very important. So having selected the direct selection tool, now I'm going to ignore any line around the outer part. Okay, this is inner as far as I'm concerned, but then this part is out, this part is out, but this is inner, this is outer part, this is outer part, because there's no any other line after this. And then this is inner part, this is inner part, and so are all these. So these ones I refer to them as outer line. So make sure you're selecting the direct selection tool. Now I'm going to select from here. Okay, now that you've done that, I'm going to hold down the shift key and then drag. Okay, so what you notice is that I'm not selecting from this point, I'm only selecting from inside. Okay, so I'll hold down the shift key, do that again. Let's undo, hold down the shift key and then drag. Okay, good. Hold down the shift key, hold down the shift key and drag. So this place as well, and shift key and drag. So I think we are done. Make sure you're not selecting the move tool. Okay, so now we can go to edit, go to cut. You can see that we've successfully cut out the die line, the creasing part. Okay, so now I'm going to add a new layer. This new layer, we're going to call it creasing. This, we're going to leave it as the die line. Okay, so on the creasing layer, I'm going to have it selected, press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. So we've added our creasing. So while it's still selected, I can go to stroke, then give it a dash line because I want to distinguish it from the die line itself. So maybe this, we can set it to, let's set it to 8. Okay, so you can configure all this, but then it's not too important for me. Okay, so I'm going to leave it. Or maybe the color, I'll set it as red. Okay, so now you can see what we have. So for some reason, I actually selected this part. This part is not your die line. Okay, this is not die line, so I have to select it. Select this, come back here, set it as black, and then make sure there's no dash. Okay, and then around here, I think we can just redo this. Let's just redo it. Let's undo. Okay, let me delete this. Let's somehow select this to make sure there's no duplicate. Yes, I'm not sure there's any duplicate anywhere. So I'll select the direct selection tool now. Come in here, I'll drag across like so. Then I'll hold on the shift key and drag across this way. Drag across this way. And then here, drag across, and then this last part here. Okay, so that's all we need to do. So now I can go to edit, then cut. Okay, so you can see this is what we have. So let's add to create the layer for the creasing, and let's call this die line. Let's come over here, Ctrl Shift V, paste in place. And then we can simply come here, change it to dash, then change it to right, and then maybe we can increase the stroke amount, set it at 2. Okay, I think that's too much, so we can have it selected and reduce it. Okay, so let's leave it at 1. It's fine. So you can see we are done creating the creasing, and then we're done with the die line. Okay, so let's go ahead and now create the bleed. Okay, so to create the bleed, I'm going to duplicate the die line. So this, I'm going to call it bleed. Okay, I'll lock this too and then close it. Okay, so we actually need the die line to create the bleed. So I'm going to have this selected. Okay, so you can see it is currently on stroke. So I'll revert it back to the field by clicking on this icon here. So this is the first step, take note of that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'll go to object and then I'll come right here to part, and then I'll select offset part. Very important. Come to offset part. I'll set the offset as 0.5 centimeter. I'll set the join as round, and then leave every other setting as this. I'll click on OK. Okay, so having done that, I'll now look for the pathfinder. I'll come here, go to the pathfinder, and then merge. Okay, so you will assume that the pathfinder has merged everything, but it hasn't yet. But then it's what we're going to do next. Okay, so I'll have everything selected once again. And then we can go to object, go to expand. Okay, so we'll still come back to pathfinder. click. So now I believe everything has been merged. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to right click and then release compound path. Okay, so having done that, I'll select everything and then go to Pathfinder, then merge it again. So everything has been merged. Okay, so now we have created our bleed. Okay, so all I need to do now is just to change this color to something like so, and then you can toggle everything on now. So you can see everything has come to form. Okay, so we now have our bleed, we now have our die-line, we now have our creasing. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to learn how to add design to this. So with this, I'll see you guys in the next video.